Yeah, I'm Brent Leary.
Wow, you are really going big in 2024 with your opening, aren't you?
I had to change it up.
Total change up.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm Paul Greenberg. So what?
And if you didn't know by now, although you really should because you're here, where are the CRM players? And guess what, folks? We've been bringing the AZ since 2009.
Now, if we said bringing the Yaz, I would think, okay, Carl Yastrzemski, Boston Red Sox, but he
That
played
would
in the
be,
late 60s.
I was going to say, that would be bringing the AZ since 1969.
1969. Yeah, that doesn't work.
Not quite the same
Bringing
pizzazz.
the Maz would be a very painful memory for me.
Especially 1961 or
60.
60. You don't want him. You don't want to bring the Maz. I mean,
No, don't want to bring the Yaz. Don't want to bring the Maz. Bringing the Jazz, I could.
Oh gosh,
I could do that one.
And on that note, folks, yeah, we are the CRM players. We are here. It's Thursday afternoon. It's rather nice at the moment, but tomorrow will be a whole different story. But it is today, and we are glad to be here. And we are actually, I'm trying to tap dance because usually at this point in time, I'm able to turn things over for our moment of Sven, but there's no Sven to turn things over to. Where Sven? Where are you? We saw you yesterday. We know you're around. We know you're here somewhere.
Sven,
come on, man. We can't really do the show without our moment of Sven, but maybe somebody else will fill in. Anybody else out there got to, want to do the moment of Sven for us?
How about this? What a great day. What language is that?
English.
Oh, we got it. Holy cow. That was amazing.
And that moment of Sven was brought to you by nobody. Anyway. So it is. We're here. It's the second show of 2024. I think the year is off to a pretty good start. All things considered. But you know what? Something cool. Like I seldom use cool and Facebook in the same, word or message or sentence or phrase or paragraph. I can keep going with this, but they do the memories thing, and I like the memories thing because sometimes it brings up good memories. So apparently, I posted this on Facebook like how many years ago? 10 years ago.
Oh my God. What a great movie.
Double Indemnity. That is such an awesome movie. Edward G. See, that was my boy. Edward G. was my guy. But Fred McMurray was my guy too, And,
most people, what was the show? Father Knows Best.
No, My Three Sons.
My Three Sons.
Yes.
That's how they know Fred McMurray, but they don't realize he was like this super accomplished actor.
He was a leading man back in the day.
I mean, he was like a superstar.
It blew my mind.
Sort of benign dad in My
I know. That's how I knew him. That's because I watched the reruns, and I was like, oh, he's such a nice, like a droll, kind of guy, And then I'm like, all this, I get into the classic movie stuff. And I see him, he's playing this like shady insurance salesman dude. It is, and it's a film noir. Those film noirs are awesome. And it's not only Edward G. and Fred McMurray, it's Barbara Stanwyck is the dame. I'm putting that in the dame because that's what they call it back then. It's an awesome movie. And Billy Wilder, I think, is the director or something like that.
He absolutely was.
So if you want to watch some cool, like, these movies today, they're all right. But the real stuff is the golden age. This is part of the golden age here.
Well, this is where you had a lot now is the action that takes place or the personality who's kind of the actor. So, or the
pyrotechnics or the
we're in a movie and we know it's a movie kind of vibe that they deliberately give you. This was the story. It was always the actors with the story, and the story mattered a lot, right? And way more than it does now. Now you can watch. I mean, I really like Jackie Chan. I just like him because I think he's funny. He's incredibly talented. He's a good guy in real life, like a really good guy. but his movies don't really have much of a storyline there. You know, he's sort of either relatively serious or semi-comic or comic, and he's a detective or the head of security in a 14th century samurai, but one way or the other is the head of something like security, and he's leading a team, and he of course is a leading martial arts guy, and he fights, and nobody gets killed, and everybody, and his fights are funny, and you watch the movie, and it's totally entertaining. And at the end, somebody said, "What was it about?" You say, "I don't know, actually. All I know is Jackie Chan was good."
It's almost sort of like his movies are cotton candy.
Yeah, but they're fun to. I mean, I'll watch any.
They're fun to watch, but
there's
after you
very
stop
few I
eating it,
won't watch. But there's nothing.
yeah. But I guess what I was saying is it's like very tasty when it goes down, but 30 minutes later, it's like I'm still hungry. You know,
Yeah,
I need more. I need a little bit more.
You know what? And I'd probably watch another Jackie Chan movie.
Yeah, well, watch one tonight. I'll watch
I
Edward
don't know if
G.
there are any I haven't watched yet.
I'm gonna. I might have to watch double. It's been a while since I watched it, but just look at the Edward G. Robertson, McMurray, and Barbara Stanwyck. They're three all-time greats.
You're not
all
kidding.
Together in their primes, right? So you do yourself a favor. This is the Siskel and Hebert portion of the CRM Playaz here.
That's right.
Yeah. So do yourself a favor. Go watch a good old-fashioned movie. It'll do
absolutely worth your time.
Yeah. You know what? No else is worth your time. That was a
what?
Really
Who else?
Nice segue. I wanted to introduce a new segment. We're going to call it Inside the Infinitely Expanding Extraordinary Hour. You know, last year, if we had done this, it would have been called Inside the Meh, which would have been cool.
The most incredibly effervescent hour.
So that would have been cool. Inside the Meh. But now it's I don't know. Inside the Infinitely Expanding Extraordinary Hour, which is our weekly get together with the people. We like that.
Now, there is something to this picture that's very important to anyone who sees it today or watches it on clips or rerun. There's an Easter egg in this picture. So first, so you're aware of it, the happy hour is actually, this IEEH is virtual. It's not live. Okay. But that is my actual, or part of my actual bar. It extends a lot further in to the left and around the corner with other alcohol. There's over 650 bottles of alcohol there. Now, in this particular picture, there is an Easter egg. And if you can figure out what the Easter egg is and why it's an Easter egg, and I will give you one hint, which will be allowable. It has something to do with me. That's all I'll say. I'm not going to say my, because then I give away too much. With me. But if you can figure that out, I'll decide later, but somewhere between a $50 and $100 gift certificate to Amazon. If you're so you have to find the Easter egg and then identify what it is that makes it an Easter egg.
Liz, yeah, it is virtual. I would still, I'm sure the venerable Paul Greenberg wouldn't mind you if you just showed up.
No, I actually wouldn't. If you show up, we'll go down to 642 bottles. We'll drink 5 or 6 of them while you're there.
You know what? It's so apropos that Liz Miller is commenting here, because I just got a chance to fully take in the last Whisper Insights of the year in 2023. And it was this round table. It's like Esteban assembled the crew, and he had the Brohammer, he had Alan Berkson, he had Lauren Vargas. I'm trying to think, do you have anybody else besides Liz Miller?
That should be it.
I think that might be it. There's a lot of
four. He has 4 calls, and
and him, and they had this great conversation. It went all, or when you assemble that kind of group together, there's gonna be some interesting talking going on. So I just so happened I was checking out the recording. I was like, oh, this might have been hanging out with the irascible Esteban Colsby a little bit too much, because check out this clip and check out. I'll just check out the clip. It's part of the discussion. Liz talking a little bit about overzealous young folks that she worked with back in the day.
Constellation, I always had big teams, right? And I'd sit down with the team. There would always be that one person that was like, I love strategery. I could just see it running through their head. There would be like these big thought bubbles. And you'd be like, okay, this is going to be the person. They're going to totally bring up a counter argument. We're going to be talking about what we need to get done here. We're going to talk about what we're doing for a client. They're going to bring this up and they'd be like, I think we should focus on social. I'm like, what the fuck? And it's really hard not to look at that really eager, anxious kid and just say, what the fuck did you just say? That was stupid as all hell, right?
Why?
But it's kind of hard because they're so eager and they're like just sitting in front of you like, I came up with some strategery and it was amazing.
But hold on.
I love being able to they actually just cut off Esteban right when he was getting a little testy. But you like that? That was Liz going in on strategery in young folks. That was kind of interesting. What do you think?
Oh, look, with Liz, when Liz says something, I just agree to it. I there's no point in not, which is because she's right. She's right, and
I like strategery. It's not even a word, but somebody said that. Oh, it looks like we're having a bit of some technical issues with our guest. That would be terrible. Maybe we should ask her to try logging out and logging in. Maybe close all your browser down and bring it back up and then try coming back again. And hopefully, because I can see you're there, but your camera isn't on, or it's your video feed. If you were on another, like a Zoom or something, maybe your camera has not been let go by that application. So if you completely close your browser and then try coming back in, and hopefully that'll do the trick. And we'll keep the light on for you. She can't even hear us. So Paul, why don't you maybe type that in?
I just did.
Okay, good. And then okay, she just disappeared. So hopefully, I hope that will do the case. But in the meantime, we've got things to do because I wanted to start the year off kind of on a positive note. And talking
Why?
I don't. Okay, so I see she didn't completely log out because she's already back in, and it's still not showing her. Hopefully, maybe I wonder if she even saw that last mention. No, we can't see you, and we probably can't hear you but you're not on screen, so we can hear you anyway. But we can't see you. So why don't you? It may like Paul says, maybe try rebooting your computer, because it feels like to me that's one of those where you might have been on a Zoom or a Microsoft Teams, and it wouldn't let go of that.
Oh, she says she can see and hear you.
Okay, well that's good, but we can't. But only me, which is really interesting. I wonder why she can't see you. That's strange.
But you can't see her, right?
I can't see her. It's just a blank box. So why don't you, if you can hear me, why don't you try shutting your machine all the way down and then try getting back in and hopefully that. All right, so she's going to try that. All right, so in the meantime, all right, so one of the things that came up, she's already doing it. So one of the things that came up at the happy hour was this. I don't know how we even got onto this, but the question arose, what is your favorite business application of all time? And you said,
I said Thunderhead, which bar none stands miles above others, no matter how good the others are. I love the other ones. There are other ones I love, but Thunderhead, for those who don't know, customer journey orchestration platform, absolutely the best product I've ever seen in the business technology world, in the business software world. And I'm counting the cloud as software, Salesforce notwithstanding.
Now, Thomas Weavernight said some kind of Salesforce automation application that I think was German too, or something.
KMV or something.
Something like that, KMV, which neither of us heard of. But also Bob Fagel. Do you remember what he said?
No.
He said something that neither of us had ever heard of. Bridger.
Oh, Bridger. That's right. Bridger. That was interesting.
I had never heard of it before, but apparently it is an engagement platform unlocking expert insights.
Meaning they call themselves an engagement platform. I don't know them. If anybody does, it would be really interesting to hear from them.
Yeah.
Bob, if you're around, feel free to comment.
Bob might be in a bit of a mourning period today, because Bill Belichick and all,
That's true. So I don't know them. He said, what did he say it did again, though?
It's an engagement platform. That's
all.
But
he said it did something specific about
a technology platform for qualitative research.
Yeah, but that's not what it all. Oh, that's what it did. You could type in the name of a person, and it would identify all the people networked in, like impacted or networked in and around that person with data about that network and that individuals and how they sat. Basically, it was combination astonishing and creepy simultaneously.
I had never heard of it. It was pretty amazing. So I don't know who else is out there, but if you have a favorite business application of all time, put it in the comment section. I'd love to see what we come up with, because I never heard of Bridger, and I never heard of the one that Thomas Weavernight talked about. And it would be kind of fascinating to see if there are anything. Oh, okay. We're having some real technical difficulties with our guest, which is so strange.
We had a problem with last time. There was something
with her.
Yeah, she was late, and there was some issues technically then too.
Yeah, that's right. But she did get through some eventually.
Yeah, eventually.
Are
you, Marta, are you on?
Are you using Chrome browser or? Yeah, is there a company security issue that maybe is going on? Now she just disappeared again. Well, hopefully she'll get through. But
well, if she doesn't, we'll reschedule and we'll do a previous thing in advance. We'll make it work. We'll figure it out.
Yeah, we'll do a test.
Yeah, we'll run a test a day or two early.
A lot of people are really interested in hearing from her. So
I know.
Hopefully we'll get it today, but if not, we'll get it.
One way or the other. It will
absolutely happen. Anyway, so yeah, anybody out there who has a favorite business application of all time, like hands down, you can name it, let us know. I would be kind of fascinated to see what we come up with.
All right. So you got 2 homework assignments, everybody, so far. 1, find the Easter egg in the IEEH photo, and that wins you an actual, semi-cash prize, meaning cash used in one place. And 2, tell us your favorite business software of all time.
That's a biggie.
That's your homework.
Yeah. All right.
It will be graded.
It will be very grating.
It'll be grading.
Speaking of degrading,
wow,
like I said, I think I said earlier, I was trying to come in to 2024 with very positive vibes, good vibes, and for the most part, I still think I have it. But so every now and again, you go into your inbox and just see stuff that's just, for lack of a better way of expressing it, stupid. And that happened to me a little over an hour before we did this show.
Oh, okay.
I'm going to pop up the email I got before the show started that I just feel like we need to go through. and maybe this is a little more extended time as we try to work out our technical problems. But this is the email that I got right before we started the show, and make sure that I forget the name of that segment we had, like protect the something but not the something. But anyway, this is a good example. All right,
Did it actually come in as Hi Bleary?
that is the subject line.
Oh my God.
Journalist query in connection with Bleary Leary.
Oh my God. And then Hi Bleary.
Journalist query in connection with Bleary Leary.
Oh, you'll never live this one down.
No. And they ought to be very happy that I covered up their names. But anyway, because I'm not into outing the person. I'm just into outing the stupidity. That's what it is. It's like something about show the stupidity. But anyway, so I'm going to read this little thing. Just let me get this off my chest. All right. So, hi, Bleary. Because my name apparently is Bleary Leary at this point.
Clearly, you're
Clearly,
you're
I'm Bleary Leary. Okay. Let's see. Remember that thing I forwarded last month? I don't know who the hell this person is. So apparently, no, I don't remember. Journalists have more for us. Should I be looping you in?
What?
First of all, I'm not a journalist. I never claimed to be. So this thing is just completely. We're just getting off on all the wrong feet. This is more than 2 feet wrong here. All right. So your details were shared with me by our research team. You need to fire the research team because they've done a terrible job already. Okay. I'm a media researcher with a pay on results PR firm. I found your business, Small Business Technology. It's just not a business. And thank goodness I see you, Marta. So we're doing better now. All right. So first of all, don't own a business named Small Business Technology. Don't know what they're talking about. Anyway, I found your business, Small Business Technology, newsworthy. First of all, I find your business, Small Business Technology, newsworthy because of your focus on CRM solutions. All right, so there's some truth to this thing. As a media researcher, I've noticed that the CRM industry is growing rapidly. Really? That's what you noticed? Ooh, that's some good research, isn't it? And your website content success suggests that you're at the forefront of this trend. What website would that be? The Small Business Technology one?
Mm-hmm.
That I don't know. All right. Based on this, I'd like to share a media request with you that I think would be a great fit. Additionally, I have other media requests that I'd love to discuss with you that could be an even better fit for your business. Are you interested in hearing more about these opportunities? P.S. To make sure we're on the same page, dude, we're nowhere near the same page, not even the same book. To make sure we're on the same page, we don't have any of those initial fees or retainers, meaning we have them. I've looped in a team member on this email, replying to everyone to be cool, just so we're all in the mix. Just so we're all in the mix?
This guy is literally an idiot.
Oh,
this is arguably one of the worst emails I've ever seen.
It's straight up ridiculous.
And that, well, I mean, first of all, they literally have some sort of the
mail merge is terrible.
Mail merge, which pulls the first, I guess it pulls the prefix of your email as your name.
Bleary Leary.
No, Hi Bleary.
No, I'm just saying, no, the first
Bleary
one,
Leary.
the subject line, Bleary Leary.
Yeah.
So my first name is in their thing is Bleary.
Right.
My last name is Leary.
Exactly. And then you're Hi Bleary. So mail merge, first line, the prefix of email. All right. Second, they don't bother with the suffix because they don't even mention that company suffix. Not whatsoever.
Wait, can we go to the remember that thing I
I know.
forwarded you last.
And
What the hell is
journalists,
that?
well, what's the next sentence even mean? Journalists have more for us.
I don't know what this guy is talking about. Anyway, that's the email I got like an hour before we started this show. It just threw me into a, I don't want to say a tizzy because I've never ever used that phrase before in my life, but it just got me a little edgy. All right. I needed to walk through that.
It's sad. It's pathetic. Yeah, it's literally so bad. I would respond to him to tell him how bad it is.
I am not responding to whoever this person is.
That's the New Yorker in me, is to say, what universe are you literally living in? Are you part of the multiverse coming from somewhere else where this makes sense? Right? I said, talk to Doctor Strange. He can maybe help you get back to your actual universe. This was like, holy God.
So many things that are wrong with this. Anyway, I needed to cleanse myself. I needed to get through that because I don't know. I don't want to have that very negative taste in my mouth. All right, but you know what makes me feel good about everything? What makes up for that negativity?
Yeah, the one thing I'm going to feel bad about.
No, this is it.
And now it's time
Why
for Stump the Godfather with the venerable Paul Greenberg. Brought to you by Microsoft Dynamics 365 Copilot.
That makes me feel so much better.
Makes me feel like I just got that email.
Nothing like Benny Hill to bring a smile to one's face. And also, nothing like Stump the Godfather, brought to you by Microsoft Dynamics 365 Copilot. To bring us back to some good positivity, folks. And this week, I think I got a good one. I think this one just sort of snuck up on me. But
Does that mean the ones prior haven't been good?
Anyway, this one this week. All right, I think this might be one that will get you. So Amazon captured what percentage of the global order volume in the final 2 weeks before Christmas?
And order volume meaning
online orders. I know you like the,
I you know what? I'm such so negative on the way most surveys are constructed that I can't help but question everything.
No, this isn't an order. I mean, I don't think this is a survey. This is,
well, they had to get the number from somewhere.
We got it from Amazon. I'll show you the source. I'll show you the source. But Amazon captured this percentage of global online order volume in the final 2 weeks before Christmas. So it's like when crunch time was coming in and you had only 2 weeks to go and you had to make sure that you were able to get that thing to where it needed to go. What percentage of the global online ordering population turned to Amazon? Now, I don't know who else is out there. We're not getting a lot of comments today. But if you are out there and you know who you are, and of course, you know who you aren't if you aren't there either. Let us know. Take a chance, take a guess before the venerable Paul Greenberg. And if our guest in the green room wants to take a guess, put it in the private chat and we'll let people know. So once again, Amazon captured what percentage of the global online order volume in the last 2 weeks before Christmas? I think this might be This might be a stumper for people here. I don't see a whole lot of folks going in on this one, unless they're doing Google searches or Chat GPT inquiries or something like that. But everybody's
I got a number in mind, but I have no idea how realistic it is.
Well, you might as well put it out there because that might be the only guess we get today.
God damn, man.
Wait a minute. Yep.
The reason I said God damn is my number was 31. Now I have to change it.
Well, all right. So Marta, our guest, who you will be doing your world famous introduction for in a couple of minutes, she has put 30% out there, and So you're gonna go with 31?
Well, wait, somebody else has a comment.
All right, who else has got
Steve Strike.
Steve Strike. With India and China, that's really hard to determine. 40%. That's why I asked the question, Steve. I want it to be hard and challenging. I didn't want to just give you guys a softball. Wow, and you're asking if it's by revenue. Oof.
I'm guessing
always
it's by numbers.
I think it's just by number of actual
orders.
orders.
Goods moved.
Yeah.
Orders moved.
Yeah.
Let's say.
So 40%. I think that's
Orders
a decent guess there, Steve. I would stick with that one. Marta's at 30%.
Because of Marta coming in there and Steve coming away, I am literally going to just sit right in the middle on this one. I'll go with 35.
35%.
I'm going up a little higher than I want to, but that's okay.
Okay. All right. So
I'll sit in the dead center of those two. I don't see it much more than that.
Marta's at 30. You're at 35. Steven, is it strike?
Strike.
I don't know. Like third strike, you're out. Anyway, he's at 40%. All right. So the answer to this week's Stump the Godfather question is wait a minute before. That's not how you win the prize. Yeah, I know. Yeah. We don't play by those rules. We got our own rules there, Steven. All right. So the answer to the question of what percentage of global order online volume did Amazon get in the last 2 weeks before Christmas is Marta was close. Very close. But if we do go by the Price is Right rules, everybody was over. Does that mean
we're not going by the Price is Right rules? So it doesn't.
So I would say Marta was like by far the closest.
Yeah, she threw me. I was going to do. She was still been closer. I was going to do 31. That was my number.
Okay, so even if all right, so we'll give you the 31.
Nah, I'll take what I gave. It was 35. It was 35. But I didn't want to be that. That's happened 3 weeks in a row. The number I had in mind is posited by one of the people on the show, engaging with us, and I have to change my number.
Are they reading your mind? Maybe is that what's going on? I don't know.
They're akin to each other.
Quite the coincidence. But anyway, Marta is the winner. That was this week's Stump the Godfather question, brought to you by Microsoft Dynamics 365 Copilot.
Now integrated into pretty much everything they do, or at least the Copilot part.
Nice addendum.
To their credit.
Very nice addendum. All right. So with all that done, I turn things over to the venerable Paul Greenberg to introduce today's guest.
All right. So I have known Marta Federici for probably a decade now, maybe. And she is one of the most accomplished human beings that I know. First, the way I would meet her, like we would just coincidentally be at Oracle, was still Open World back then, or Dreamforce, and we would run into each other. I'd see her at Open World of week 1, then I'd see her at Dreamforce the next week, and we became fast friends in the course of that. I know she had told me she had read most of my stuff at that time. I found through the years, while she was at Philips and now at Henkel, was running global CX, CRM, customer engagement, anything that was really customer facing, both from strategy and technology. And not only is she incredibly accomplished and just knows how to do things right, but she's a truly good person. I mean, like really, really good person, always thinking on the positive side of things, always figuring out how to accomplish something, even when it doesn't seem to be accomplishable, I guess is the word. I mean, she's a remarkable human being because of her outlook as much as her experience and knowledge. And I just love her to pieces. It was like I think we missed one conference where we planned on getting together. We missed that. and I missed her and it as a result, right? So I am so glad to see her on this show. I cannot tell you, she was a member of our CRM 2023 Outlook, the end of 2022 CRM Playaz practitioners panel. Today, she's gonna school us, guys. Everyone out there, she's gonna school us on what to do with CX, CRM, CE, and life in general. Okay, Marta,
Oh my
there you are, and good luck with that intro.
Thank you so much, Paul. And Brand for
and she's
having me.
Italian and has lived
yeah.
in the Netherlands and in Germany.
Now in Germany. True.
So she is.
Thank you, Paul. Thank you, Paul.
That was actually I was keeping it less effusive than I wanted to be. Let's just say.
Wow.
Oh my goodness.
Wow.
Yeah.
What if he didn't hold back there, Marta? That would have really been something.
Thank you.
So
it was a pleasure, to meet you at all these
those years. I mean, it was like amazing. And I remember we were at it's the one. What's the hotel, Brent, where Pega holds their
Atlanta.
Oh, MGM.
Was it?
Oh
No, it was MGM. Well, but we met you. We literally met in the hallway. I still remember that, just bumping into you in the hallway, right out of the blue. I mean, it wasn't even that one. We didn't even expect that. There you were, and there I was. So we got a chance to stop and talk for a while. It was just like sheer serendipity at the time. So, tell people a little bit about where you came from and yourself, because I think you haven't been on the show where you've had a chance to highlight yourself. You've only been on where you were with a group of others. So fill people in however you like. Take your time.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Paul. And again, thanks for the invitation. And sorry for my bad connection. This is really,
okay.
really
This is fine.
It
works.
Yeah, where I'm coming from. Okay, I'm Italian. I'm from Rome, currently living in Germany, in Düsseldorf, and working at Henkel. For the past 5 years, I've been at Henkel. And then before then, I spent nearly 6 years in Amsterdam at Royal Philips, where I was heading CRM and customer engagement and the entire CRM transformation for the B2C and the B2B business of Philips. Before then, I spent about 15 years in different marketing groups and agencies around Europe, always consulting a lot of different customers, but many of them were automotive customers, the likes of Nissan of Europe or Renault, Dacia, Ford, Jaguar, Land Rover. So many in the past, and also airlines working on their loyalty programs. So a lot of CRM blood in my past, also because I was lucky enough to be part of Wonderman, where Lester Wonderman is the one claiming to be, the ones that, created the customer relationship management as an acronym. And then you took over, Paul, as the godfather of CRM. This is totally recognized.
That's right. I had everybody meet for dinner and then took them all out.
Exactly.
Took over as godfather. Right.
So in the last 10 years, my job has been transforming business, transforming companies digitally. And in the last 5 years at Henkel, it has been a lot of digital and customer experience transformation. So
I mean, you're dealing with extremely large companies now. These are not like what Henkel's revenue is. What, 5 billion euros?
No. The total Henkel revenue is 20.
That's 23 billion. They were 23 billion. Yeah. And how much was Philips when you were dealing with them?
At the very beginning, when I just joined, it was roughly the same size. But then with the spin-off of the lighting part, Signify, it dropped a bit below, but not that much. So we are still talking about companies in between 10 and 20 billion. Yeah.
So you're a practitioner, so you know how to put together things as well as think about them. One of the things that always I find extremely hard to even think about, much less do, is when people are dealing with customer experience, they're always dealing with the idea that the individual customer, gets attention from the company in some way that's personal to them. And you're talking about trying to do that for millions of people who minimally at least think that's what's happening. It really isn't, but it never really is. Not even happening with companies of 20 customers, much less 10 million or whatever. But how do you even put together a plan for something like that? Because I don't know. I could speak to every analyst in the world, and I doubt any of us could really tell you what would be a solid plan for that kind of scale to personalize kind of the interactions. And what are the things you're looking for that maybe, let's call it counterintuitive, when it comes to the idea of personalizing? I mean, I have some thoughts about that, but I want to hear.
I mean, you are touching one of my favorite topics, which is personalization. And there is no personalization without data. If you don't have the right data, the fresh data, if you do not know how to combine the data, and across multiple data sources, right? Because sometimes you might need data coming from your marketing cloud, or from your sales cloud or your service cloud, and seamlessly, trying to make some sense and derive insights from all this data. And then you can start understanding, okay, I have my product, I have my audience, the idea, my persona, or the job to be done, right? And then I want to create segments based on the, let's say, the data points that I collected. And of course, in some cases, we own the data already because they've been collected before. But in some other cases, we don't know whom they might be still. So we go for different type of approaches. We try to target build campaigns to attract, to really build awareness, consideration, and then bring consumers or customers into the loop, into giving us the consent to use their data and to start an engagement with them. But the secret for personalization is really identifying to the best possible way all the characteristics that are important for the customers. I mean, you need to understand the needs, what their needs are. You need to understand what they're looking for and why. You need to be able to understand if they are known to you, what did they buy in the past, how often they buy. Did they browse any of your properties, any of your websites in the past? Did they raise a complaint to your customer service? Yes or no? That might be a showstopper in some cases. Or are they waiting for an order that still didn't arrive? So they might be in a bad mood, in a bad state of mind, right? And based on, I give some examples, but of course, demographics, firmographics data, behavioral data, sometimes even some psychographic level data. Then we can build those segments, which are the secret weapon to really fuel any type of personalization strategy. And what I also believe is that more and more now in this new year, 2024, hyper-personalization is going to be the keyword. And the companies that didn't do it, that didn't embrace it so far, watch out. It might be too late. Our customers, our consumers are just expecting us to know them so well and to be able to provide such an amazing and seamless and end-to-end omni-channel experience that it's better to get our house in order first.
So you actually brought up something really early on in this part of the discussion that I find really, really interesting. So you mentioned personas and then you mentioned jobs to be done. I am not a fan of personas at all because I think that's overgeneralization. Yes. My only way of approaching that has been, you tell me two CMOs who have even something vaguely alike about who they are or what they do or what they want, and there aren't any. You can't identify two CMOs with the same
Yeah.
anything. So
Yeah.
selling to a CMO is a meaningless thing to do. On the other hand, jobs to be done, I'm a huge advocate of, because ultimately, if I'm a
Yes.
CMO and I'm trying to, let's say, I'm trying to I'm trying to buy these 10 things for for my company, or I'm the CIO and I'm trying to buy the same 10 things for the same company. It doesn't matter what my job is. It's the job. It doesn't matter what I do for a living. What matters is the job I need done. And it doesn't matter. You can sell it to me as the CMO, you can sell me as CIO. It makes no difference. So ultimately, the job is as close to a fact as you're going to get, where a CMO and personas aren't. So that said, there are a lot of companies that sell, and organize customer experience around personas. And there are a lot that organize around jobs to be done, or some at least. How do you deal with it? How do you deal with all that?
Yeah, it's a super interesting question. We do a sort of blend, okay? For example, when rebuilding completely the experience on our henkeladhesive.com website, platform, we call it platform right now, because it's an experience platform. So we started with the jobs to be done approach, definitely, but we also looked at sort of persona archetypes, no? For example, the solution seeker, right? Or I don't know, an engineer that is looking to solve a more technical issue, or the purchasing manager. So really not persona like in the old days,
Right.
but more sort of archetypes, because they have a mission to accomplish, and this mission, can change and can be much more dynamic rather than being stuck with a description of an old persona and then try to understand where they are, because the persona description doesn't give you any information about readiness, doesn't give you any information about, when they will be ready to buy and why. So while if you go for jobs to be done, you can get all this information. So what is also super important for us is to design very, very, detailed and somehow complex journeys, okay, that are encompassing all the possible paths, all what can happen, right, to a certain archetype when it has to accomplish a specific type of job. So this is how we solve it today.
Wow, that's huge, though. How many customers does Henkel have?
Woo! What we I cannot count them, honestly. What I can tell you is that we deal with 800 different industry segments every single day. I'm talking about the Henkel adhesive only.
Oh my God, that's insane.
Yeah. And we aim to classify our customers in macro groups. No, we have consumers, the one that buy Prit, the glue, that buy Patex as a brand. We love to classify professionals. Consumers, really professionals, the ones that are helping us when something bad happens to our window, for example, and also small and medium enterprises, small and medium, which are also pretty, different, and very large enterprises that can be global. So we operate in this all beautiful complexity across 800 industry segments, and day in and day out. So let me tell you a secret in the end. The reason why we started our transformation at Henkel was because we wanted to get everything easy. We wanted to simplify the relationship that our customers could have with us and that we could have with them, because it was impossible at some point for the customer to know who to talk to at Henkel. So too many people to talk to. I mean, it's so complicated, and we have to make their life easy. We need to make it a possible mission, a possible job to be accomplished. And that's the whole secret that has led us to this entire transformation.
Fantastic secret.
So all the last year and going into this year,
Yeah.
everybody, I mean, wherever you go, wherever you look, whatever conference you've gone to, whatever vendor event you went to, Gen AI, all up in our faces. Everybody says they have it. Everybody says, how it's changing everything. I'm so glad we get a chance to talk to you, because after what you just talked about, you have a lot of responsibility for a lot of different things and a lot of different segments. You're not looking at it from a vendor perspective. You're not looking at it from our perspective. You're looking at it from somebody has to get stuff done. How much has right? So how has all Gen AI stuff, has that already started making a difference in how you approach things and do things? Or do you see it, if it's not already there, do you see it having some potential significant impacts on what you do at some point in time?
Okay, so 2023 and generative AI has been, everybody knows the buzzword of 2023. I think what we have done in 2023 is to discover how powerful it could become, right? And we started somehow playing with it. So we have some people which are very, very passionate in the team that started to say, okay, can I actually teach ChatGPT how to describe a feature in Azure DevOps? And it did it. So he taught ChatGPT how to basically do his job. And it was, an experiment. But then we said, okay, but we need to produce a lot of content if we want to get to a certain level of personalization. If we want to, for example, make account-based marketing approach fly, you need a lot of personalization. And we were discussing with a vendor, and then we said, okay, we can help you with actually leveraging generative AI and produce some white papers for you, right? So we were completely excited because we could cut out, some timing to production, efforts. We could feed, we could teach the AI with certain type of information, of course, nothing confidential, but just something that is about an industry, right? So it's very common knowledge. And then we were all excited. We started working, but then what? We were blocked because compliance didn't like it, because they said, no way, guys, no way. You are crossing a line here. It's not something that we should be doing right now, because, also internally, the first thing that we came up, that our IT DX department came up with, were how to deal with AI at Henkel, what to do and what not to do. So an approach which was really protecting, of course, copyright, information that we are very much proprietary of. We don't want to also spread and be used in a way that can train an AI, right? An AI model. So we were asked to pause. We were asked to stop. But at the same time, I see a huge potential. There are now different vendors that have integrated AI features, right? One for all are, the large language models, for example, in chatbots or in virtual assistants, anything that we could do with conversational AI. And I think what could be really, really pivotal moving forward is especially touching the customer services organization. It's all about a conversation, a two-way conversation. I mean, it's common knowledge that generative AI will be now integrated into Amazon Alexa and Google Assistant. So imagine the potential. So we could order as a consumer or as a customer something by just asking Alexa, or maybe asking Alexa to connect us with the Henkel assistants one day, right? And this is so powerful. This is so transformational, not only for us as an outside customer, but also for the people, for the agents, for the customer service agents, because they will have a complete different job to do, right? They will have to talk. They will have to change the type and the quality of work that they have to do. And they have to spend much more time in talking rather than typing, right? Today is all about typing, losing a lot of time. So they could be much more efficient and also leveraging a lot more NLP, natural language processing, for speech recognition, sentiment analysis. So think about an area that we are really trying to explore right now, which is voice of customer, collecting customer feedback, how important that is. But also another area that we are looking at is localization. I mentioned before that we launched this brand new platform, the next henkeladhesive.com in 2023. And this year we aim to scale it up. And to do so, of course, we want to be relevant in every country we are in. And I mean, as Henkel Adhesive, we are representing over 60 plus countries across the globe. In order to be relevant to each of the consumer in each and every country, a great localization approach needs to be put in place. That doesn't mean just translation, but it means also the context, the culture that you have to embrace to make it fit. So yes. the era of one size fits all is dead once and for all. So, and this is also thanks to the boost and the power that this generative AI and AI in general is giving us. So it's just amazing what we could do. But I think we should move away from just experimenting to proving the value of what AI and generative AI especially can do for companies and for our customers. So time to step up.
I think one final question. So you mentioned earlier, you talked to making things easy for customers, which is, to me, that's the heart of everything. It's convenience, ultimately, right? It's why, as Brent well knows, I am not a big fan of companies that say our job is to delight the customer all the time. And I think that is such bull crap, right? The job of a company is to give the customer what they need, which is why they're talking to you in the first place, and do it as easily as possible so they can go on with the rest of their life, because you're not their whole life, right? Exactly. So and that means convenience and ease of use and things like that. Mm-hmm. Now you're talking about, at the same time, being culturally relevant, basically, for 60 different countries, which means understanding those cultures and knowing what, not just knowing how the culture works, but convenience is different in every, that's why I don't believe in frictionless anything, because I don't think that's actually ever going to happen. But I do believe in the idea of understanding that the idea of ease of use is different in place to place, right? What it takes to make something work easier. They may tolerate something a little longer than they do from one country to the next. Then you're dealing with AI, which actually, if used properly, makes things more convenient. That's actually the benefit of it. When it boils down to the most exciting thing about AI, has with ChatGPT, look, AI and search have been around a long time, both of them. Yeah. And the thing that made it really exciting was you could basically talk to it, in a manner of speaking, and it would answer you, and you didn't have to do all that stuff in between, right, that you had to do to get the answer originally. It took out about 20 steps in the middle, right? So looking ahead with this, not just Henkel per se, but any company that scales at that level, how do you go about not preparing the technology or how do you go about preparing the company to do that, to get ready for that, to get ready for jobs to be done, to get ready for convenience, to get ready for use of AI, how do you prepare your company and let's say your teams on being ready for that not even future at this point, for that present?
It is a great question, Paul, because it has to do a lot with the change that we are driving, right? I think it's about the strategy behind, because anything you do has to marry your business strategy. It has to completely, be aligned, but it has to be holistic. And it has to be also, sustained by a great culture. And I think the most important transformative factor of every type of digital CX transformation is culture. Without the right culture, you won't plant a seed, right? So it is about upskilling people. Upskilling your team first, but then upskilling everybody around, and making them believe that everything that we are working on makes sense, because we can touch it with our hands, we can feel it. We have a dream, but we know that if we dream big, we can make it happen, and we can make the customer life a lot easier. And by doing so, we can also simplify processes internally. So it's kind of a two-way benefit. A lot of people are fearing to change, are resistant to change. But sometimes we just need to be honest with us and be honest for our customers. So can I ask you guys a question?
Sure. The Rams are going to win this week. Is that?
Okay. So, what do you think? How difficult is going to be for you, to your perspective, to achieve some consistent use or aligned use of AI and generative AI across vendors? Because for us, it's really difficult to pick and choose pieces of generative AI or AI from one vendor, and then another, and then patch them together. So I'm curious about that.
Brent, you want to take it?
No, age before beauty.
Okay. Well, here's the deal. Every vendor. Okay, so there's two kinds of vendors here. There's the AI vendors, the ones who started that way, and then there's the ones who are integrating AI, like Salesforce or Oracle, people like that, who aren't AI vendors. And then there's Microsoft, who basically is really actually setting the standard for everybody, right? And so the question becomes there's two questions. Question one is standardization, meaning regardless of what AI you use, it'll work similarly, if not identically, enough so that it will be successful, and it will talk to other AIs, obviously, is one, which is always a question. Question two is just the willingness of vendors to accept that. The willingness part tends to eventually happen. We saw that over the years. It's just as the industries mature, each company realizes it's in our interest to integrate well with other companies' stuff, whatever it is. And it's just, we've seen that a million times with CRM and ERP systems and things like that. At first, every CRM system was its own thing. Now, this marketing automation system integrates with that sales automation system integrates with that customer service thing, which integrates with that ERP system, which ties to that supply chain system. And if they don't, there's some middleware equivalent or some platform like MuleSoft or something that will take care of it. I don't see that. I see that happening again at some point. It's just, it has to, because ultimately then, other than that, you have warring fiefdoms and customers like Henkel or others get angry and they say, screw it. And then a lot of companies lose out at that point. That's so on the standardization part. It's a little, we did it with the internet, but there's other standardization like VR and AR kind of things that still haven't happened, and they've been around for a decade plus, and there are all kinds of committees who are trying to do that. That one's a little more of a crapshoot to see if it'll happen in any reasonable future. But I think the integration, the ability of the companies to accept the fact that other companies are producing stuff equally as good, if not better, that they just kind of need to tie to, maybe because they need a small I mean, it's like, okay, a CDP takes this data source and this data source and this data source. You're going to probably come up with something that takes this large language model and this large language model, and this small language model and this large language model and this small language model, and brings it into one holistic kind of solution that aids something. I mean, to me, those things are inevitable. How sloppy it is, I have no idea. Right?
All of a sudden, it started. Sound got a little different there. Look, I know, Marta. It's what time is it over where you are right now?
It's 10 p.m.
Okay, I'm gonna be very short and sweet here. I think.
Don't worry, I'm a night owl, so don't worry about me.
I really think that the more things change, the more they stay the same. I think we've been caught up in this game of silos, not thrones, but silos, and database silos, application silos. And I think the hope is that AI does not create more silos and create significantly worse impactful silos. But the hope would be that these things would be built for AI to relinquish and vanquish the silos. But that would call for vendors to do things that they seldom like to do, which is, give up or cede power or cede control, because typically you try to build a software application to give you more control over what happens with the customer and their data. I just have this sinking suspicion that although there's a lot of great positive vibes around this, and there's some really interesting stuff going on individually, how does that happen where, like, you having to figure out how to bring this stuff together? Because the vision that I'm assuming that you have for Henkel is not, well, we need this vendor here, this vendor there, this vendor here. It's like, I just want something that I can count on that will do what we need, regardless of it comes from this part of the application stack or the other. I don't know how that's working. I think it's still to be determined. Because as you started with the whole conversation, it's all about data. Well, guess what? Data doesn't sit in one location, in one application, or by one vendor, or by one department in a company or a partner. It's everywhere. It's dispersed everywhere. And if the AI is applied the way that all the other technologies have been applied over the decades, we're going to end up pretty much where we've been. Now, I don't know if this technology will work differently with the vendors and they'll be, let's all work together. I don't know. But I think that's the biggest problem or challenge to what you're looking for. Is it has nothing to do with the technology. It's the game of silos or thrones or whatever you want to call it. And I don't know how that turns out.
Yeah. For companies, it's super important because already our platform architecture can be super complicated, and with something so revolutionary like this coming, it can be scary. So yeah, really looking forward to a peaceful, positive, simpler solution rather than repeating the mistakes of the past, right?
We're looking for
we should have
AI detente, where everybody comes together.
Kissinger passed away, so we can't.
Well, but no,
Morality.
I think it's as with the most things in this space, the technology is way ahead of the people, because the people have to deal with other people. Technology can just do what it's supposed to do. We got other stuff that comes with us, and
Exactly.
that's the good and the bad of all this, I guess.
Amen.
All right. Well, this has been fun. I'm so glad we got the technology worked out, and it's a bit of a challenge there, but no, this has been really fascinating. Once again, I really appreciate your perspective, because we talked to a lot of executives at the vendors, and the analysts and the thought leaders and all those people, but you're the one actually doing it, and I think of all the opinions, yours is the most important. So thank you for giving us some of it, because I think it's incredibly insightful, and helps us, because we need that perspective as we talk to the vendors and look and see what's all being done. It's really got to come through your lens, so we really appreciate that.
I'm the user.
And of course, the user.
Thank you. I'm so happy and glad for this invitation, and thank you for the nice chat. So I'm
awesome.
So
Brent, you wanna do the question?
I don't even think we have to, but
I know we probably know the answer.
Yeah, I think we know the answer.
A very rare pass.
Wait a minute. Let's ask this. Marta, do you know who Bill Belichick is?
Repeat it again.
No, okay.
I don't. Bill Belichick. Have you ever heard that name?
No.
I'm taking that as enough. That's okay. No, we usually ask at the end of our shows if our guest has a favorite NFL team, and there's only one wrong answer to that. And your answer to I don't know who he is, that's a perfectly fine answer.
That's right.
So we're good to go.
If you knew who he was, we probably would have had to ask the question.
Yeah, but
you didn't. So
we're feeling pretty good about things.
Wait. Maybe it has to do with your favorite sport.
Your favorite no, not your favorite sport. Our question is, we'll ask you if you want to take the risk, because if you answer it wrong, as great as the conversation's been, you're never allowed back on the show. So,
my goodness.
So
I don't want to.
I don't think you have anything to worry about. I think you're good. You think you're good now.
We're giving you a pass. The wise thing to do here is take the pass.
Take the pass. Yeah, and she did. She took it. We got it. We're giving you a pass. All right. Thanks so much for staying up and joining us. And
thank you.
Don't hang up, although we're not on a phone, but don't hang up because I've been recording, and we want to make sure that we get the local recording from you. So why don't you just hang out if you can, and we're going to end the broadcast, but we're still going to go back into the green room. All right.
Okay.
We should rename that the Greenberg room, by the way.
No, we shouldn't. No, we should not.
Bye, guys.
Marta, thank you.
All right. So on behalf of Marta, I'm Brent Leary.
I'm Paul Greenberg.
And she literally just left.
Okay.
She didn't realize. Yeah.
That's okay.
Anyway, and this is Minnie.
Who we all know, Minnie is the star of every show.
Yeah, people come for the ending. Just
that's right. See this.
And we will see you next week.
Next week.